The definition of a path has many meanings: a trodden track or way, a roadway, a route, a course of action or conduct. It can mean the course or direction in which something moves. A path can mean a way of life. It could also mean an itinerary. Now, what if this path is not straight? It could be bent or curved. It could be raised to one side or uneven, winding, twisting, and turning. Isn't that what life is? An ever-changing path that we all follow in our own way and on our own terms? Come and join me, and together we can start walking the crooked path. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Walking the Crooked Path. I am your host, Raven Wings, and I'm so glad you guys could be here on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. Today with me, I have two special guests. I actually have two people on today. I have Sen Moise, and I got that one right, and Sen Elias. See, got it right too. These two wonderful men are from Crescent City Conjure. And I am going to put up links to the Facebook page and to the website when I do put up the link to this show for the YouTube page. So you will have all the links there. So I want you guys to go check it out. And there are some really cool videos that I've put up. So I want you guys to check it out. But welcome to both of you. I'm going to start, I guess, with Sen Moise. Hello,
okay.
Sir.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine. Just fine. Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. And you must have wonderful weather there.
It's hot. It's hot outside. You know, it goes from hot to really hot. So
Yeah.
it's in that in between.
I lived in Florida, so I can relate. Yeah. Now I live in Maine, so it's either, like yesterday we were sweating to death, and today I'm wearing sweatpants. So yeah, I can't win. So, but you want to tell our listeners a little bit about your background, your history, and about yourself.
Sure. I was raised in Southern Conjure, Hoodoo. I come from a background of working the root, ancestor veneration, honoring the spirits that have come before you, and in a conjure sense. I'm also I am Ungan Asogwe, which is a high priest in Haitian Vodou.
I am so glad you pronounced that, because I would have totally messed that one up.
And I'm also a Padre Nganga in Palo, Mayombe. So having all those things working together is always a very, very interesting thing. I've been in this for almost going on 34 years. Because like I said, I was raised in Southern Conjure and, honoring the spirits and ancestor veneration and those sorts of things. So, I've been around for a minute or two.
Just for a few.
Yeah. And so, this is something that is very much, my life, our life together. This is something that we do because we believe that we were born to do it. And when it comes to the magic of the spirits, when it comes to the working and the honoring of the spirits, it's something that it just flows out of us in every single way possible. It's we wake up doing it, we go to bed doing it. It's throughout the day, every day, and it's just it's an amazing, wonderful service and part of our lives.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's a life. It's not just one day I decided I want to become a hoodoo because I saw a movie.
Right. It's not a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. and that's a lot of the reasons why we've been doing a lot of these hoodoo shows, is because it has become so popular for everybody now with all the movies and all the stuff that's out there, and just because somebody can make a Florida water doesn't actually mean it is a Florida water.
Ain't that the truth? Yes, indeed.
And they're getting it confused with voodoo, and like you said, you do voodoo and hoodoo, correct?
Yes, the two are not the same.
Yes.
one is about work. One is primary. It's not. So Well, we'll get into that in just a minute.
Okay.
So let's have want Sen Elias to introduce himself and
yes,
say a
definitely.
little bit about him.
Hi, I'm Sen Elias. I began studying metaphysics, general metaphysics, when I was relatively young, around 12 or 13. I became interested in the occult as a study and a practice, and it set me on fire. I absolutely fell in love with it at that age, and it led me on a path towards Alexandrian witchcraft, Alexandrian traditional witchcraft, which I first discovered Wicca, and then from there quickly moved forward to a traditional practice. Since then, I've been initiated into Palo Mayombe. I'm a Palero and Palo Mayombe. And I continue to practice and work with Hoodoo Sen Moise. Of course, there's with anybody else who studies general metaphysics, there's tons of little offshoots, such as Reiki, meditation, all that other stuff. So that's where my study happened, in that vein of things. In talking to Hoodoo Sen Moise, there's definitely, I feel, some hidden hoodoo in my family, but they didn't go down that road with me, so I don't know about that.
Not yet.
And I think there's a lot of hoodoo in a lot of people's families, and they just don't realize it, I mean, paganism itself, everybody's pagan. We all came from a pagan background of some sort or another. So, but I think there's a lot, especially of us who live in the Americas, that there is a lot of hoodoo in our background, and a lot of people just don't realize it.
Right, and that's the thing, is that, when it comes down to it, conjure, hoodoo, when it comes down to it, there are several influences that come from that. Primarily the root, the one of the foundational roots of conjure comes from the Congo. Mm-hmm. But it also has influences of Christianity, of Catholicism, Judaism, Native American, and also there's also European folk magic influences that's in there. And the reason for that is because when all this stuff come together, you had these influences of the families that were here that kind of merged together with some of the other the rooted practices, like of the Congo and stuff like that, which is where you get conjure at what you see conjure as today. Now conjure is voodoo and hoodoo is not the same. Is not the same. There is an influence. There is an influence there, but it is absolutely not the same. Conjure is more about work, whereas voodoo is a whole spiritual path. Mm-hmm. Now, conjure, the primary focus of conjure is spiritual work, doing the work,
doing the tricks. Correct.
Doing the work. It also, like, there is also the veneration of spirits and of like your ancestors and such. There's also that that is there, but more than anything else, it's about doing work. Mm-hmm. Whereas voodoo is a whole it's a whole path that involves work. It involves veneration of spirits. It involves relationships with spirits, all kinds of stuff.
And to do voodoo, you would have to have someone who's been in voodoo for a long time as a mentor too, wouldn't you?
You wouldn't. I would suggest it. Because, like you have, and not to fault anybody or anything like that, but like you have people say, they'll be like, oh, well, just go and draw this veve, and and call out to Legba on this veve, and then that's all you do. That's not how it works. Yeah. Like they're like if you're talking about the veve, which are the signs or the sigils, however you want to define them, that for the loa, for those spirits, there's a whole process involved. It's not just drawing it. That is one very small part of a very large process, and so there are a lot of misconceptions out there, and it would absolutely be highly encouraged, for folks to to talk to people that are actually doing it, to kind of like have a bit more of an understanding of what is really going on, as opposed to just drawing a symbol on a piece of paper and calling out to a Loa based on the symbol that you have on a piece of paper,
Mm-hmm. Yep, and reading a book doesn't make you an expert either, because there are a lot of books out there, and I am prime example number one who read a book and took the book to heart and was wrong. So, there are prime examples out there that if you're going to read books, you want to read a lot of books. A lot of different books.
Reading books is, of course, reaching out to people who have practical, and that lore that they can pass on to you. Because there's a lot you can never. Books stop teaching at a point.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can learn from books, because there's the lore that can't be written down, that you can only get from the next person, and that's why I think a lot of people don't understand that. You can't possibly capture the full breadth of almost any of these traditions in a book, because a lot of it are things that cannot be written down at all.
Yeah. Now, I have a question in the chat room from Mrs. Brown. She wants to know if Sen is a hoodoo title.
There really is no such thing as a hoodoo title per se. It just depends. You'll have people that will call you, like they'll call you like Papa or Mama, or they'll call you Auntie, or or they'll call you something. Mm-hmm. They'll give you a name. Sen is actually a Creole word for saint, and where I get I'm called Ugan Sen Moise, or Hoodoo Sen Moise. That's how I'm known in the voodoo community, and that was a name that I was given. And so that's where that comes from. But the word Sen is just simply it's a Creole word for saint.
Oh, okay.
So Sen Moise actually translates to English as Saint Moses.
Yes.
See? Learn something new every day. I love it when we get questions from the chat room, because that's not something I would have come up with.
Yes. And so and thank you, Mrs. Brown, for asking that question, because it was great.
You would love Mrs. Brown. If you go on my page sometime, I have some stuff that Mrs. Brown makes, very cool stuff with crochet, and she's making me a voodoo head. She's making me this shrunken head out of crochet.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it is awesome. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting a shrunken head.
Better crochet a head.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta see it. You gotta check it out on my page.
Crochet that head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It is so cool. It is so cool. But yeah, she's making all kinds of stuff. She makes animals like spirit animals and stuff, and everything's crocheted. It's amazing. I'm lucky if I can crochet a square. So I find all of this stuff just amazing. So now,
right.
at your store, now do you have a brick and mortar store?
No.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We are online now. We're waiting for the right place to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, and that takes time.
Space in the Quarter is hard to come by.
Yeah, retail space in the French Quarter is not easy to come by.
No, and I'm sure it's expensive as all get out.
It can be, yes.
Yeah. But you do tarot readings.
We do.
And you do classes and stuff like that. So what do you teach?
A whole range of things. I mean, we have a lot of experience under our belt, and we can teach from several different points of views and veins of magical practice. So it really depends on what the person's coming for,
what they're looking
to learn, and that will determine what path we're going to take in teaching.
So we'll have classes with folks like on venerating the ancestors, understanding who the ancestors are and why they are so vital in what you do. We'll have classes on conjure, hoodoo. We'll have classes on witchcraft. Have classes on meditation. Like the things that we both draw from, because we work as a team. We work very much as a team, and so. And it's all dependent on what the student wants.
Yes.
What they're looking for.
It's not a catch-all. It's not a one-stop shop for whatever you're looking for.
No.
It's more working with someone in a very specific and tailored way so that they can find their own power.
See, now that's awesome too, because you both have such experience in different ways. It's not like you're both experienced in just one thing. You both have experience in different things, so that makes it way more open for learning experiences and stuff for people.
And we have the unique opportunity to talk to each other about these things too. And you'll find in this community, a lot of people don't have in-depth conversations about their personal practices. So tightly guarded, it's so personal to them that it's hard to have that back and forth. But we have it every day, and I think that makes us stronger in the way that we can pass that forward.
Exactly, and listening to your video, because I posted up that video of you guys sitting on the steps. That was awesome, because you were just talking, and it was just awesome because you were talking about what you do and what you know and stuff like that. And it was like, you know what, this is going to be a great interview because these people actually live the life, and that's a big thing today. I mean, you see a lot of these wannabes, the posers, the wannabe witches, the wannabe voodoo, the wannabe hoodoo, and it's sad, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes beyond just, reading a book and going, okay, well, I've got the spices on my shelf now, I'm just going to make up this gree bag and I'm good to go. There's a lot of background. Right? Exactly. But there's too many movies out there that have made it too simple for people.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, people will come and they'll ask us about, I think I'm just gonna, go and make a mojo hand. Okay.
Go ahead and make you a mojo hand.
So be like, so what are you gonna do? I'm gonna get this root and this root and this root, and I'm gonna put it, in this bag. And I, just look at it and be like, that ain't a mojo hand.
But you can't even say that, like it's not even worth saying that's not a mojo hand. If you think it's a mojo hand, then maybe it's a placebo pill, and maybe it will do something for you. I don't know, carry it around. But if you want to know what's really happening and what really works, then that's a different conversation.
Yeah, because there's more to it than just putting stuff in a bag.
A whole lot more.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, you need to talk to it. You need to bond with your herbs and stuff too. Because I'm a big person for bonding with herbs. I'm an herb witch. That's me. I love herbs and all that stuff. Plus, I cook with everything. So, and I bond with my plants.
People we come into your house for dinner.
Yeah, well, I'm Italian and French, so yeah, I can cook. And I can make a mean.
We perform certain rites and rituals and sacrifices are given to our roots before we even begin using them.
Yeah,
so that
that's another thing that people don't understand. It's like when you're taking a root from a plant, you're killing that plant. You're literally killing. If you take the whole root, you've just killed that plant. So I'm hoping that you have done something, to ask permission first off, to take from that plant, and also to put back something for taking that plant and saying thank you, because without that plant you got nothing. So
absolutely. And it's like that there's that rule of magic, or that rule of work. If something is given, then something is taken, and if something is taken, then something is given.
Yes.
So you're not just going out and
plucking
a root. There has to be a balance in that.
Exactly.
There must be a balance in any of the work that you're doing. If there is no balance, then what ends up happening is one side gets drained completely while the other is fine, and then that brings like chaos and all kinds of things that shouldn't be around because things are out of whack.
Exactly, and it's balanced, and I'm sure that Sen Elias, boy.
Elias.
Thank you. I just became tongue-tied. With studying Reiki and stuff like that, it's like our bodies. When our bodies are not balanced, when we have one thing wrong, it throws the whole system off. It's the same way with the planet, and plants and animals and everything.
Yeah, and that's with everything. It's not. People think. I feel like. When people practice magic, they think that they're creating something out of nothing, and to a degree you are, but more specifically, you're moving things around. You're changing the balance of things, and in changing that balance, you can create or destroy. It's not necessarily that you're creating out of thin air and something magically appears. You're moving things around. You're always moving. It's always a balance in everything that we do, and it's the understanding of that balance where we get our power and knowing how to move one thing and put it over here, and move that thing and put it over there, and in that way we're creating a different picture for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're doing magic and stuff, you're moving the elements, and you're moving, things around you, and when you move it too much, if you're going in one direction but you're not putting back, your spells aren't going to work right either. You know, they're going to be all off kilter.
They're not going to work.
No. No, and I love these people who will ask, well, can you do a spell for this or that or the other thing? And it's like, well, yeah, but why do you want this? That was the biggest thing for me, is intent. You have to have intent in all your spell work to begin with, and people will just want something just because they want it. And I'm more of a person that would do a spell out of a need more so than a want type of thing, you know. Everybody wants money. Yeah, we all want money.
If you want I mean, if you want something, we'll do it for you. You know, that's because we feel like that's you. You know, if you want, we don't want to ask you why you want it. Maybe you have your own reasons. But you know, if you want to come to someone who's been studying this for so long, and, you know, has access to this information, then fine, we'll be that rampart for you. We will definitely be that rampart for you, because one thing that we do in Crescent City Conjure is specific work for clients. And so when they come to us and they ask us for work, then we talk to them a little bit about if they are ready or not ready for the change that's going to occur in their lives, and then we carry that work out for them. Because I feel like, since, you know, if you're blessed with this gift, then and not everyone knows how to utilize it, they need to have a touch point. They need to be able to come to someone who knows how to do this, so that they don't, you know, burn their house down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, when you do something specific for a person, do they have some things that they have to do as well?
Absolutely, they do. Because the thing about it is that when we're talking about you know, work, and you're talking about magic, you're talking about something that, you know, doing work is, you know, you're doing work in the realm of the spirit, you know, that manifests in the realm of the physical, and the physical, and, you know, into the spirit. Because the two, like the realm of the spirit and the realm of the physical, they mirror one another. And so doing something in the spirit must be mirrored in the physical. And so there has to be a balance in that. So, you know, if let's say somebody come to us and they want a love work that's done. Okay, you're not going to find love sitting in your apartment on the couch watching the stories on TV.
Right.
You know, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, we can do the work, but you have to also, you know, be in places where those opportunities can occur. You know, like, so there's a balance in that. There is any work that is done in the spirit, there must be a balance in the physical as well. You know, it's like if you do a money work, you're not just going to expect a bag of money to fall out of the sky into your lap, you know, while you're, you know, sitting in your apartment watching the stories.
Yep, you've got to get out there and either get a job or somehow work for that money. Yeah.
So, you know, so like when that vein of power is flowing, you know, you have to step into it.
You have to step into
to receive it.
Right.
You know,
if we do a love work and you just sit on the sofa, then that it's just not going to happen. You're not involved with people enough to draw that potential to you. But the difference between before we did the work and after, you may go to a club or whatever, you've been going out trying to meet people for years, and just nothing has happened. But we do the work, and then you again have to put yourself in a social situation. But then suddenly, by magic, you know, you meet someone who you can build a relationship with. But it's really just putting yourself and taking that. Someone once told me that magic creates opportunities, and that's how I understand it. Magic does not, you know, change your whole life from the ground up necessarily. It changes, it provides opportunities for you to then take advantage of, but you have to take advantage of those opportunities.
Exactly. If opportunities are knocking on your door and you don't open the door, it's not going to happen.
Right. So, and just to give a little example, we had a client a couple of months ago who came to us, and she was like the sweetest lady ever. And she just said, you know, she was like, I want, she asked us about doing a love work for her. She's like, I want to find real love. I don't want any of this fake bullshit that, you know, that's going on. And I'm looking for, you know, for something real. I'm open, you know, for something, you know, for something real to happen. And that's what I want. And she was very honest. She was very open. She was just an amazing lady. And so we said, okay. So we did the work for her, and it was funny because within 3 days of doing the work for her, she was getting all this attention from all these people. But then, in the middle of getting all these attention from all these gentlemen, you know, the right one came along, and you know, she sent us an email the other day talking about how, you know, how happy she is and how, you know, how things are going for her, and it's, she put herself in, you know, she was open to receive, and then
Absolutely.
she also stepped into that power that was, you know, that was flowing for her, that enabled her to receive what she needed to receive, and she got exactly what she was looking for.
But it's
and be able to, and she was able to distinguish between which one.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. It's, you know, it's I really like how that played out, because it's not like Prince Charming, you know, came through on a white horse. She had a selection. You know, she could really use her own discernment to say, this is the person I want to move forward with, this is not the person I want to move forward with, and it was made evident to her who was going to be right for her, and I really like that. I think when you go about it right, it gives you space to just make your own decisions. It's not just, you know, plopped in front of your lap either.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, if it's not worth working for, it's probably not worth it. You know?
Exactly.
Yep. I mean, no relationship's easy. We all know that. Now, you guys also make oils and powders and all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the stuff that you make? Because I know there's a lot of people out there looking for true oils and true waters and you know, true products.
We make a lot. So we just released about 6 new oils. They include Graveyard Oil, Fast Money Oil, Follow Me Boy Oil, Follow Me Girl, Black Arts Oil, Crown of Success Oil. We also have Mojo Hands, Money Drawing, Love, Success, Protection. We have Silence Thine Enemy Powder, which is one of our favorites. If, you know, a lot of people deal with gossip at work or at school, here and there, and sometimes that gossip just needs to stop, and that's one thing that we do. We have War Water, which is great when and our favorite slogan with that is, when you're done being nice, it's time to do war. You get the war water, and you and then it's time to watch the dominoes fall. But we have protection spikes, which are spike railroad spikes that have been blessed and rituals have been done over them to protect all the corners of your home. We sell poppets and dolls. We like to make them specifically for our clients so that you know,
special order.
Special order, because spirits and work are put into those things before they're sent out. We do our candles. We have Love Candle. We have Money Drawing Candle, High John Candle, which is awesome. Ancestral Candle.
Separation. We have a separation candle that's real good for enemies, or people that you just need to get away from you. Taking a separation candle and then using it in conjunction with the hot foot powder that we have is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Do you have like oils and powders and waters and stuff that all work together too?
Yes. Oh yes,
absolutely.
You can use them separately, or you can use them together. The more that you use together, the more potent your work would be.
Yeah, I make poppets too, so I know what you mean by making them for special order, because they have to be, you know, it has to be made in a certain way with certain herbs, and you do it certain different ways for certain different things, and there's no way you could just mass produce a bunch of poppets and go, yeah, here you go. You know, here, just take it and have a good time with it. So yeah, it's kind of hard to do that, and I think that's the way it is with a lot of different things, like your gree bags and stuff like that need to be, you know, a lot of them need to be special order, because, you know, just because it works one way for one person doesn't mean it's going to work that same way for another person. They may need a different herb or a different whatever. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is even with you know, the standard, like the minimum amount of time it takes to make a mojo hand is 3 days.
3 days.
It takes 3 days of work to make a mojo. The minimum amount of time.
Yes.
Now, do you work with moon phases and stuff like that?
We sometimes do. If it depends on where we're working from. So if it's more on the traditional Southern Conjure, point, then they've never used moon phase. They haven't traditionally used moon phases, and so it's unnecessary to the spirit of the work that we're doing. But of course, I practice witchcraft, so and some of the work that we do is going to be according to the moon, what phases the moon is in. We also go by planetary hours. Each day there's an hour dedicated to a planet, and it changes every day depending on when the sun is rising and setting. And so that planetary power can also be used in work.
See, and a lot of people don't understand that, because in my path, and I use that term lightly because I really have no set path. I'm more of a kitchen witch and an herbal witch type of thing, an earth witch. So there's really no path. I don't follow a certain deity type of thing, I guess is the way to do that. And there are some things that I work with that work with the moon, and some that I don't. And like you, I started with Wicca, and Wicca is very, you have to do it this way, and you have to do it that way, and you have to do it this way.
I think if I think I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, go right ahead.
I think Wicca is a good for someone who's not raised into it, or doesn't have someone who's going to give them the lore. It's a good place to start, and I think it's a good starting place. And by starting place, I mean get some very general, watered down, sugar coated information, and then go find the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, so people don't like Wicca. I don't think that it's something that people should stay in necessarily. But go look for some traditional witchcraft if you're going to say you practice witchcraft, because Wicca is not necessarily witchcraft.
No, and a lot of people don't understand that either. Just because they say they're Wiccan, they assume they're a witch, and that's not exactly true, because a lot of Wiccans aren't witches. They don't practice witchcraft in the aspect of the fact that witchcraft is not a religion either. People have that confused. Witchcraft is not a religion; it's a practice. It's kind of like hoodoo is not a religion.
Right.
And witchcraft is not a religion. My witchcraft stuff is not based on anything religious. It's stuff that I do for spells and stuff and conjurings, basically, like you do in hoodoo. But people don't understand that. They assume automatically that, oh, you're Wiccan, you must be a witch. No, and I'm a witch and I'm not Wiccan. So, it was a great starting point. It was a great learning time for me. I got a lot of background on it, and then I did branch off from there, but I branch off all over the place, because the reason I was getting interested in hoodoo was because of all the herb work that's involved with it, and I love herbs. So, and when I found out you get to use roots and bones and all this other kind of stuff, I was like, oh yes, this is this is something that it sparked a fire, and I was like, this is something. And it wasn't the religious aspect of it that I was looking into, and as I was reading books, that's when the hoodoo started coming in, because it's amazing how the hoodoo just morphs into the voodoo morphs into hoodoo books, because I started learning about Ashe.
Okay.
And that's not part of hoodoo. I found that out later. I was like, oh,
and that's not part of voodoo either.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Oh. That actually comes from Lukumi.
Okay.
Like Santeria?
Okay. All right. See, now I've heard of Santeria. I've never, got totally into it to actually read about it, because it was more of a religious aspect, and that was not something I was getting into. So.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's weird, because they all intertwine at some point. All pagan paths intertwine at some point, and it gets so confusing. And I feel very sorry for a lot of people who have not studied it for very long and have just decided that they just want to become pagan all of a sudden. And it's confusing. It's very confusing for a lot of people.
That's the first test. That's the first test. Can you wade through the bullshit?
Yeah.
I mean, that really is the first test for anyone. It's how badly do you want to really know. If you really want to know, then you'll decipher it. No.
Yeah, and you have to, and that is a big deal about it. You have to learn, and that's why I say I don't really follow a particular path, because I've taken bits and pieces from here and there that have worked for me, and created my own sort of crooked path, which is hence the name of the show, Walking the Crooked Path. Because I mean, I love hearing about other paths, because there's always something that I'm going to hear in another path that I'm like, ooh, I like that. I like that. Where could I incorporate that in what I do? And I think that's actually a good way for a lot of people to look at it. They'd be a lot more tolerant of a lot of different paths if they looked at it that way. Because personally, I don't care what path you're on. If you're happy, more power to you. You can be Christian, you can be pagan, you can be, Satanist. I don't care. As long as you're happy and you're not throwing it in my face, I'm okay. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. So now also, you guys are going to be in Salem in October.
Yes, we are.
Massachusetts, in the Witch City, and I love that place. I used to live in Mass. I lived in Lowell, so I spent like every other weekend in Salem. So I love that city. That city is so wonderful. Yeah, but you're going to be doing a graveyard conjure.
Yep, yes. We're gonna be doing a class about working in the cemetery and
now,
going over
tell us a little bit about what that's like, because I love cemeteries too. I'm another big cemetery fan.
Well, the thing about it is that, like when there's a lot of different work that gets done, in the cemetery. There's also a lot of relationships that gets developed with the dead of that cemetery, because the dead will work with us if we do what we're supposed to be doing. And, some folks, just, they just see the cemetery as a place of rest. It's actually quite the opposite. The cemetery should be jumping. Mm-hmm. And you'll find it, at least I have found, in the South more so than, like in the North. You will find like all kind of work in cemeteries all over the place.
Oh no, you find it in the North too. There's a cemetery called Mount Zion in Washington D.C. that the workers go to, and there's nothing but work in there all the time.
Oh, see, now I'll have to check that out. Because I live in a really small town in western Maine, and the closest cemetery is right down the street from us, and it's really nice. I like it. It's an old cemetery with the, broken headstones and everything's falling apart because there's nobody taking care of it. But it's right on the side of a road, and the thing that I love about cemeteries the most is when you're there, it doesn't matter if it's on the side of a road or not. It's quiet. And I love that. And if you sit there and listen, you can hear things.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can also go in and commune commune with those spirits that's in the cemetery and get them to do work with you and for you. You can also go to the cemetery and you can do things like you can bring harm to people. You can also bring wisdom to people. You can bring people together. You can pull them apart. There's all kinds of stuff that can be done in the cemetery. And it just depends, like I said, on what people are doing. But, the cemetery is a place that there's a lot of work going on, or should be. And so that's what the class is going to be about, is, working in the cemetery, to increase, whatever it is that whatever magic that you may be doing.
Nice. See, so that will be a really good learning experience. There's going to be a lot of things going on in October up there, but that is definitely something that is worth checking out if you guys are in Salem for Halloween, for Samhain.
It's going to be October 26th is the class. Mm-hmm. And if anybody wants tickets, they can go to festivalofthedead.com and they can get the tickets to the class through that website.
Yes, and I'll have that website posted up as well, because there's a lot of great things going on with that as well. Now, you guys do you know Christian Day?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's doing a lot of this Festival of the Dead stuff, and I have never met him. I've heard of him, and I've been in Salem a few times when he's been there. I just haven't gotten a chance to meet him. I've met Lori Cabot and such, but I've always wanted to meet him. What is he like? Because he looks like he'd be a wild person.
Christian is a trip. He is somebody who, when Christian is passionate about something, he will go the length of the earth to convey that passion, to make something happen. Mm-hmm. He is somebody that he's very committed to the things that he finds that he's passionate about. He's very committed to to making those things succeed, and he's somebody who when it gets down to it, he has one of the most incredible work ethics I've ever witnessed in my life.
And he has a wicked sense of humor.
And and he has his sense of humor is very it's very unique.
To say the least, right?
Right.
Well, we did talk a little bit about your CrescentCityConjure.com. You do have a Facebook page as
Yes.
well. So anybody can go there, and that's where all of your products and stuff are going to be. If you're teaching classes and stuff, they'll be able to find that out there as well.
Yes.
Yes.
They can message us directly if they're looking for classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and they can message you with any kind of class. It doesn't matter what it is, and if you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, you'll let them know, right?
Well, yeah.
It depends.
And it's a conversation.
Yeah,
that we
it's
have.
it's typically a conversation before we even get to a class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they may not even know. They'll say that they want to do this, and then they'll say, "Oh, I want to learn the voodoo to do that." Well, that doesn't have anything to do with voodoo,
Right.
You know?
Okay, yeah,
So-
which is good. So you give them an explanation so they know what they're actually looking for.
Yes.
Good.
Right.
Good. Now, as far as tarot readings, now I saw a little video on tarot readings. You want to give us a little information about how you do your tarot readings? Because I thought the video was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, both of us have been reading cards for a long time, and I learned to read cards first technically, in a technical manner, that, as an equation, 1 + 1 = 2. Over time, what you get is you start hearing the impressions a lot louder, to where it becomes much more spirit-based, to where you're looking at the cards, but really you're hearing the words, you're seeing the pictures, you're getting the impressions from spirit, and you're talking to spirit directly. And so the cards just become signposts after some time doing it. And we both have talked about these ways of reading the cards. There's the more methods you use, the more specific and tailored a reading becomes, to where you'll hear people talk about how some tarot readers are very general. And then you'll hear people talk about how, they got the name, and they knew this and they knew that. And the difference between, I feel, a mediocre tarot reader and a really awesome tarot reader is someone who understands and can utilize both methods.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a stop sign. You can look at a stop sign and read it, and it says stop. But even if the words weren't there, most of us know that the sign itself means stop. So, yeah. Now, when you do readings, do you do these like over the phone, on Skype? I'm not sure how you do it. In person?
We'll do readings. We'll do readings over the phone. If they're in New Orleans, then we'll do it in person. And if depending, because tarot cards is one of the forms, but we also read with shells and with chomalongos, but those readings have to be done in person. They can't be done over the phone.
Okay, what is a chomalongo?
Chomalongo is like a coconut shell, a piece of a round piece of a coconut shell.
Oh, see, now I had never heard of that one. I thought I had heard of all the different ways to read and stuff, and that one's new to me. That one's new. I've heard of tea leaves and all that other stuff, but now, do you do bones, or is that voodoo?
No, I do not do bones. There are people that read with bones, but we don't.
Okay.
That's just never been,
a thing for us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people who will read with bones. But like for a reading, like I said, if they're not in New Orleans, then we'll do them over the phone. Which is really good. I mean, because we do get a lot of people that call us. That call us for readings that aren't here.
Mm-hmm.
People like around the country, and we have a client in Ireland who calls us like every other month for a reading.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Brown says, "Hey, Raven Rings, road trip." LOL. No, she's in Canada.
Absolutely.
She's in Canada, so she'll have to pick me up on the way by. But yeah, I had talked to the other host, Onyx Moon, about that. I said, if we're ever in Louisiana, we are so looking these guys up. We are so going to hook up with these guys. I said, definitely, we are going to hook up with these guys. You'd love Onyx Moon. She does hoodoo. And she does, she has Onyx Moon Emporium, so she does sell oils and stuff like that. She does not mass produce. So, they're to order type of thing. So she's been kind of my mentor, her and Reverend Terry, with the whole hoodoo thing, because they just looked at me and shook their heads, and they were like, "You need a mentor." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." I'm sorry, I know. Okay, so let's see. So you do readings, you teach classes, you make stuff. My God, you guys are just so busy. I mean, do you have any time to do anything?
We carve out time for each other, of course.
Well, that's good. You have to make time for each other, you know? But I have seen some cute videos of you guys. It was awesome. I was like, these guys together are just amazing. You guys together just, you radiate. It's really cool. It was really cool to watch during the video and stuff because you can just see it. It's a radiation, and it's awesome. It's just, it's great. And the fact that you guys work together, just, it makes it even better.
Thank you. Well, that's what love is.
Yeah, exactly. And love has no age limit, and it has no, you know, color. It has no sex, no nothing, you know, and people need to understand that. Love is love. You know, love is a beautiful thing just because it's love. And I love that. I absolutely do. It is amazing. All right, guys. Well, we are coming to the close of the show. I do want you to post to post. Yeah, I'm doing well today. It's definitely a Sunday. It's a Monday on a Sunday. Definitely want you guys to, you know, push your site. So tell them again where they can find you.
CrescentCityConjure.com.
They can find us at CrescentCityConjure.com. We have a Facebook page of Crescent City Conjure. They can look us up on Facebook under Hoodoo Sen Moise or Sen Elias. They will find us. We'll be at Hex Fest. We'll be teaching at Hex Fest down here in New Orleans this year, first weekend of June. There's still a few tickets available, so if anybody wants to come on down, it's going to be a time.
And if anyone's listening who is in Louisiana, we're actually doing a class at 6 o'clock at Botanica.
At Carmel and Sons Botanica. We're teaching a class at 6 o'clock today.
And what's that class for?
And the class is it's going to be an introduction to working the spirit of the roots.
Ooh, that would be an awesome class. I am way too far away. I would not make it there on time. An awesome class, though. I'm hoping, knock wood, that everything works out well. That I'll be in Salem, Mass, at the same time you guys are.
Yeah, that would be great.
And can take the class, the graveyard conjuring class, because I really want to take that class. I think that would be amazing and awesome, and I would just love it. So, and I am so glad that I got a chance to talk with you guys. And stay on the line. Don't hang up yet. I'm going to close out the show because I got to get a little bit of information from you guys anyway. So, but I want to thank everybody today for listening in. Sorry I didn't get any commercials on, guys. Oh well. We play them enough anyway. So, you know, we play enough commercials anyway. Sorry, guys. But we just got to talking and things happen. So, but you will get back to your commercials after I get off the air. So feel free to listen to our sponsors that are out there. But thank you again so much, guys, for joining me. And thanks, everybody, for listening and being in the chat room. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.